Hi guys, and welcome back to the next video, and today's video is actually a little bit different in that it's a bit more of an informational video. So as you can tell by the title, this video is about MCC and how I create the teams and the process that I sort of go through to do that. Now, if you don't know what MCC is, MCC stands for MC Championships. And that is a large 40-player creator event that I organise and run alongside Nox Crew every month. So the event is made up of a bunch of different mini-games with 10 teams of 4. And my job is to decide when we do the event and who makes up those 10 teams of 4. If you want any more information, a link to the MCC website is in the description below, so you can check it out, see who is playing in this event, and check out a sort of description of all the different minigames we have available. Obviously, these minigames are currently private and they are for the event only, so unfortunately, although they look really cool, you can't play them. Unless, of course, you're one of the people who are in the event watching this video, then yes, you can. So the way the teaming sort of works has changed quite a lot since MCC 1, as we are now on our 8th event. Back in the very first MCC, it was kind of a mix of putting people together with people that they kind of knew just for fun, because at its core, MCC is a for fun event. There is no prize money involved. The only thing the winners get is this cool commemorative coin, which as you can see has MC Championship winner on the front, and then the other little zombie in a crown on the back. Currently, you only get 1 coin for winning the event. It doesn't matter if you win 3 times, it doesn't matter if you win once, you only get 1 coin. But we are maybe looking at something special if winners happen to win more than like 5 events or something, so like keep an eye out for that, but we do still have quite a while. There's only a handful of people who have ever won the event twice, and I'm one of them. It's not rigged, don't at me. So to actually get into the part of the video that you're all here for, teaming. So the way the event works is, back in the very first MCC, I struggled to get 40 people wanting to play a Minecraft event, mainly because it was just another Minecraft event in the sea of Minecraft events. And also, I don't know 40 people that I'm friends with, really, online. So it was a struggle. Compared to now, where I have so many people wanting in the event and we only have 40 slots. It's completely different situations. In the few days following the event, I will post a sign up form to the private Discord, which basically anyone in there can sign up to take part in the event, and it sort of gauges an interest of who's actually available. Because obviously some people might be busy on the day that we happen to pick for MCC, some people maybe want to miss one. There's tons of different reasons as to why people might not want to participate each event, so if I put in a sign up form, it kind of means that they fill it out rather than me chasing people up. And for a bit more clarity, I'm going to show you what the form looks like. So as you can see here, we have a Google form that says MC Championships, and it's let us know if you want to take part in the next MCC. We will pair people up, then put those teams with people who share a similar goal for the event. Now, I will explain later down what that means. So we just basically ask for the basic information of like an email and then whether you are available to play in that MCC event. For this form, it says 15th of August because that is the most recent event. And the 2 options are, yeah, I'm hype, or I'm interested, but I'm not 100% sure. The reason we have that option was sometimes people maybe aren't sure if they're going to be available, but they still are interested in playing if they are, which means that I can put them either onto the reserves list, or I can sort of chase them up and make sure, like, are you actually able to play or not? They maybe didn't know exactly at the time of filling it out, but they wanted to get their name in because the forms do fill out fast. It then just asks for your name or your alias. So I could put Scott, or I could put S Major, or dang, that's a long name. I am a branding nightmare. Your Discord username, your Minecraft IGN, and the main reason you choose to take part in MCC. Now this has changed. A lot of people, if you look at sort of the first 3 MCCs, the teams weren't the most diverse or balanced, because back then we were doing it purely on a buddy system and my sort of intuition of who already kind of knew each other and who I thought would mesh well. And that often led to issues where you would have a team with maybe 2 people who were playing to really want to try and win and get that top spot, mixed with 2 people who were there purely for the enjoyment of the event and had no intention of tryharding. And obviously when you put those 2 together, they don't mesh. So with this new thing, it gives me a lot more clarity into what different people are playing for. So the 3 options are, I'm competitive and here to win, I just play to have fun, or I'm happy to play more competitively, but I also don't care if I place low. With that information, I know that I don't put people who want to play competitively with people who just play for fun. Now, the majority of the event do put that I'm here to play more competitively, but I also don't care if I place low, which does make my job much easier because I'm then not getting worried about people being upset or getting mad if their teammates maybe don't do well, because again, at the end of the day, it is all for fun. The next question is asking if their stream is strictly PG. So you can either answer, yes, all my content is only PG, my content is far from PG, or I can be PG if I need to. This is just to help me not get into a situation where I maybe put someone who is family friendly on stream with someone who is not, and obviously that being a sort of clash in their dynamics when maybe one is more open to like swearing and chatting about more adult themes compared to someone who isn't. And then I ask where they're planning on streaming, either Twitch, YouTube, or other, as we do have a few creators who stream on like Facebook and DLive and just other platforms. And lastly, we asked for the alias of one person you would want to play with. This used to be how we did the system completely. It was a buddy system. If you put someone down and they also put you down, you would definitely be together. Obviously, with the popularity of the event, that is maybe getting a little bit harder for us to do, just because there are so many people that want to play, and a lot of the time, the people who are very good in the event are friends with people who are very good in the event. And I can't have every week being them together all the time. A perfect example of that is Vic and Pete, who used to play together in every event, but as the event got more competitively, it became less feasible to keep them as a pair. So now you have seen the sign up form, I can explain to you what I do with that information. So when someone signs up, the form funnels it all into a nice Google Doc that I am then able to kind of see all the different reasons that they play, who is signed up and who they want to play with. I then have my own system where basically I look at the previous event scoring and where they placed in that and give them a colour based on if they placed in the 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, or 31 to 40. I also have started taking a note of each person's individual scores from that last event and kind of adding them together when I put them in a team so that each team kind of has an average base score. Now, I choose to do it based on the last event rather than an event average as a whole for a few reasons. One, Minecraft Championships has changed a lot. We have brand new game modes, we have changed game modes, the amount of coins awarded for different game modes has changed, and also players who have been in it for the first one know how to play the games a lot more. So you could do really badly in 1 week where we added a brand new game mode and maybe changed a few, but that would reflect on your average because it would bring it all down. I prefer to do it based on the last event that people took part in because yes, people will have bad days and good days, and if people maybe have really, really bad weeks, I will kind of take that into consideration that it was just a one-off. If someone is consistently top like 20 places, but then in one event gets in the bottom section, I will take that into consideration when I'm teaming them because it probably was just an off week. I do think it's a better gauge of the player rather than sort of taking an average as a whole. Especially since people are generally improving each event, so it is making my job even more difficult. Another element I have to manage when I'm making the teams is that I try not to put teams completely of people who have won before, so a team of 4 that have won won't play as a 4 again. I will split that up. They will not play as a 4 again until way down the line when there's a possibility of it happening. There are also people who maybe don't mesh well with other creators, as is common in anywhere, and they maybe have restrictions or limitations of certain people that they would prefer not to team with, and that's completely fine. And then on top of that, you're probably wondering, how do new people get invited? Well, that is where my job gets even more difficult. Like I said earlier, when I did the first MCC, I struggled to get 40 people to want to do the event, and it was very much a scraping together at the last minute to get people, compared to now, where I have so many people constantly DMing me or emailing me or getting tweeted at me, asking to be part of it. And although that support and interest in the event is amazing, it is very difficult for me to decide who gets to play and who doesn't, because for each new person we add to the event, one of the people who are part of the roster already have to miss out. So to try and make it fair, I do tend to limit adding about 3 new people each event. That has fluctuated to be maybe less in certain events or more in others, but that does tend to be my standard, is about 3 people new each time. With MCC, we have never tried to make the event focused on sub numbers or view counts or anything like that, which does make getting into the event both fair and unfair. It's fair in that we're not giving people a limit to try and get into it or to hold a certain view count, otherwise they're out. It's also unfair because I can't give people a set goal to aim towards to take part in the event. MCC has always had creators of varying sizes, some with tens of thousands of viewers and some with tens of viewers, and that's what makes MCC really important and special, is the sort of mixing of these communities and channel sizes, and that it can sort of be an open area to basically anyone. But because of the popularity and exclusivity of the event, I do need to do it on an invite-only basis. Now, I have a list privately, and it will stay that way, of creators who have maybe emailed me or reached out, or creators that I have hired have been interested in the event through previous contestants. And I work my way through that list, sort of adding people here and there. Also different people who are friends of creators that maybe come in and play with them. That's also in the mix as well. And also with teaming, we have the other dynamic of set teams. Maybe you haven't realized what those are, or you're maybe new to the event, but a prime example of that is the Blue Bats team, which is normally consisting of the Simmers. The Simmers are people who want to play the event, but only to play as a 4, which is fine, but it does mean that I can't allow them to take part in every single event, which is why they sort of do every second one now. Similar to how for this MCC, the team of Shubble, Strawberry17, Joey Graceffa and Mika came in as a team of 4, but they wouldn't get to play as a team of 4 every single event. So when it comes to making the teams, like I mentioned before, I use the sign up form to kind of gather information, and I use the color grading system to put the teams together. And to kind of give you a visual representation of what that looks like, here is the team spreadsheet that I used for MCC7, the last event. So as you can tell, we have the Red Rabbits team, Orange Ocelots team, Yellow Yaks team, Lime Llamas, Green Guardians, Cyan Creepers, Aqua Horses, Blue Bats, Purple Pandas, and Pink Parrots. So looking at it, you can see that certain players have either a green, which means in the last event they placed in the top 10, a blue, which means they placed in the 10 to 20, yellow, which means they placed in 20 to 30, and orange, which means they placed in 30 to 40. Or they have the pink, which means they're unknown, as in they are new to the event, which in that one, it was only Sapnap that was new. You will also notice under each team are individual scores, which is me taking the scores from each player in that team from the last event they took part in, adding them together and giving them a team score. And when you look at those, the variation between sort of the top teams isn't actually that much. It's a few hundred coins. Now there are a few outliers like the Blue Bats who on a point system look severely unbalanced, but again, they play purely for fun and as a team, so that is always going to be the case. Now my goal when I do the teams is to maybe have about 4 to 5 strong teams who are up for the top 2 spots. Mainly because there's some people who take part just for fun mixed in there, like the Hermits. Now this is a fun thing to look at, knowing that the winners of MCC7 were in fact Green Guardians, whose team score was only 8,007. They were completely outranked by almost every other team in the event, but still came out on top, which is a prime example of how MCC really can be anyone's game. Although there might seem like some really strong teams and automatic you're like, oh well they've won, the way the event works with the multipliers and the order of the games that get picked each night, you don't know who's going to win. I hope this has kind of given you a little bit of clarity into the process in which I do the teams. Obviously it is a hard thing to kind of explain in full detail as there's so many things that get involved in the team making process. I quite often will change the teams several times over the course of like 3 days. Like, I've had it before where one day I've been like, right, the teams are done, and then 2 days later they are completely different because new people have signed up, other people have asked to be with certain people, or vice versa, and it sort of changes the mechanics and the way I do it. Now, once I kind of have this team finalized and the layout sorted of who's going to be in what teams, I will then let the players know in the Discord. I will add the new people who are playing that event to the Discord, and then we keep it private until we tweet from the MCC Twitter announcing the teams for you all, which is normally about 2 weeks, a week before the event. If there was anything in this video that I maybe didn't answer that you were curious about to do with the teaming process, please let me know in the comment section down below. But I do hope that this has sort of added a little bit of clarity to it and sort of gives you an idea of how I do the event. Unfortunately, I can't just do a random name picker or number selection or pulling names out of a hat because there's so many different elements that go into the event and make it harder. Same as it's not super fair to just attach player average scores to people. There's so many elements that go into the event, and I think doing this will hopefully give you all a bit of clarity of how complex the team making process actually is. So if in the future maybe you see your faves aren't on a team together or they are on a team together, just remember the amount of work that's kind of gone in the background to hopefully get a good, interesting event. But if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like, comment down below with any questions you have that I didn't happen to answer, and if there is any that I will answer down there, or on my Twitter at smajor1995. Remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss a video, and I will see you all next time. Bye!